Hello, I'm Dr. Christopher Wilson. Today, I want to tell you a short story, but one that is full of meaning. Not long ago, I had a patient named Evelyn. She is 73 years old, and every morning she would stop at the bottom of the stairs in her home. Just 6 steps, but to her they were like a small mountain. She would grip the handrail, take a deep breath, and then slowly descend, one step at a time. "I suppose it's just old age," she told me, her voice as soft as the wind through an old window. I looked at her and replied, "Not necessarily, Evelyn. There are very small things, substances our bodies need, and when they are missing, they cause our legs to weaken day by day." From that day on, she started a new, simple habit. Every night before bed, she would take a small spoonful of an oil I recommended. No strenuous exercises, no expensive medications, just a little timely supplement, as gentle as the dawn passing through her window. 2 months later, she told me, "I made it down those 6 steps without holding on." You know, social media has recently been flooded with ads claiming, "This oil will make you 20 years younger." But as a doctor, I must be honest with you. No oil can turn back time. However, there are oils backed by serious research that can help an older body function better, reducing inflammation, supporting memory, protecting the heart, even helping your legs feel steadier each morning. Today, I will explore 5 oils with you, each with its own unique strength. No magic, no exaggeration, just what science has validated and what my heart believes in. Aging doesn't arrive like a storm. It comes like a steady, drizzling rain. Memory fades, joints slow down, sleep becomes fragmented. But your body, even after 60, still has the ability to recover if you nourish it correctly. And one of the most overlooked factors is good fats. Not animal fats or repeatedly fried oils, but pure plant-based oils, rich in bioactive compounds that can reduce chronic inflammation, protect nerve cells, support hormones in old age, help restore soft tissues, muscles, bones, and mucous membranes. In this video, I will join you to explore each oil with its clear benefits, guide you on how to use them with safe dosages, warn you about common mistakes when using oil supplements, and finally, I will reveal a very special oil, one that contains all 4 types of omega that few people know about. Number 1. Extra virgin olive oil, the faithful friend of the heart and memory. If there is one oil I always keep in my home, not just as a doctor, but as a son and a father, it is extra virgin olive oil, what I call the faithful friend of the heart and memory. I still remember the first time I prescribed this oil to an 82-year-old gentleman. He didn't ask me, "Will it help me live longer?" Instead, he asked, "Will it help me keep remembering my wife's birthday?" And I answered him, "The answer lies in each small spoonful, taken faithfully every day." Extra virgin olive oil is nothing new, but what makes it so special is that it has been with humanity for thousands of years, and modern science has confirmed its benefits with convincing numbers. A famous study called PREDIMED, conducted in Spain with over 7,000 adults, showed that those who followed a Mediterranean diet using extra virgin olive oil daily had a 31% lower risk of cardiovascular disease. And it doesn't stop there. According to the Journal of the American College of Cardiology 2022, just half a tablespoon of olive oil a day can reduce the risk of death from neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's, by 29%. How does olive oil do this? It contains over 73% oleic acid, a monounsaturated fatty acid that gently reduces inflammation and helps blood vessels function more smoothly. But the real magic lies in its polyphenols, natural antioxidants like hydroxytyrosol and oleuropein. They act like silent guardians, protecting nerve cells from the damage of time. So how can you use olive oil effectively and safely? I often tell my patients, don't wait for your body to cry out before turning to olive oil. Let it become a quiet part of your daily rhythm. You can use 1.5 to 2 tablespoons per day, about 20 to 30 milliliters. It's best to take it directly on an empty stomach in the morning or mix it into boiled vegetables, porridge, or soup. Avoid heating it to high temperatures to preserve its nutrients, and choose the extra virgin type in a dark glass bottle stored in a cool place away from sunlight. One of my patients, Frank, 68 years old, used to complain about his cholesterol levels and short, restless sleep. After switching to using olive oil regularly each morning, just 6 weeks later, he told me, "I'm not sure how many years younger I feel, but at least I can now sleep through the night without dreaming of my blood vessels getting clogged." That remark made me smile, because sometimes miracles aren't found in medicine, but in a small drop of a gentle, consistent habit. However, if you often experience dry eyes, chapped lips, or a feeling of discomfort in your mucous membranes, then the next oil, with its distinctive orange color, is something you should explore with me. We are about to step through another door, a place where your skin, eyes, and body are restored from within. Number 2, sea buckthorn oil, the source of nourishment for mucous membranes, skin, and cells. I want to tell you about an oil, one that is less common, not often seen on supermarket shelves, but one that always makes me think of winter skin, of eyes that feel dry and scratchy upon waking, and of the delicate mucous membranes that become vulnerable as we age. These are small discomforts, but they greatly impact the daily quality of life for older adults. That oil is called sea buckthorn oil. If olive oil is the faithful friend of the heart, then sea buckthorn oil is like a dedicated nurse for the skin, eyes, lips, and digestive system, the parts of the body that silently bear the brunt of aging. Sea buckthorn is one of the very few plant oils that contains all 4 essential omegas: omega-3, omega-6, omega-7, and omega-9. Among them, omega-7, palmitoleic acid, is the shining star. This fatty acid plays a key role in restoring and soothing soft tissues, helping mucosal cells regenerate faster, something particularly necessary for older adults suffering from chronic dry eye, sensitive flaky skin, gum inflammation, mouth sores, and hormonal imbalances after menopause. In a study published in the Journal of Nutrition, participants who consumed 1 to 2 grams of sea buckthorn oil daily for 3 months showed significant improvement in eye moisture, with less burning, redness, and sensitivity to light. Not only that, this oil also contains beta-carotene, vitamin E, and many natural phytosterols, which help to fight oxidation, support cell regeneration, and soothe simmering inflammatory responses in soft tissues. So, how should you use it? I usually recommend starting with a low dose, about 500 milligrams per day, then gradually increasing to a maximum of 3 grams per day if your body responds well. Soft gel capsules are easy to take, but if you prefer, you can choose the liquid oil to mix into porridge or smoothies. A small note: if you take high doses for a prolonged period, your skin may turn slightly yellow due to the high beta-carotene content. This phenomenon, called carotenodermia, is completely harmless and will disappear when you adjust the dosage. One of my patients, Linda, 65 years old, suffered from persistent dry eyes all winter. Eye drops only provided a few hours of relief. After using sea buckthorn oil for about 2 months, she told me, "I no longer have to reach for my eye drops first thing in the morning. It feels like my eyes have a natural, moisturizing film from within." And I believe it wasn't just her eyes, but her spirit too, that softened from that moment on. A little quiz for you. Is sea buckthorn oil the only plant-based oil that contains all 4 omegas, 3, 6, 7, and 9? Write your answer in the comment section. We'll reveal the correct answer at the end of this video. And now, let's move on to the next oil, one that may sound familiar but holds a special ability to energize a brain that is gradually slowing down with age. I will tell you the story of an elderly woman who regained her ability to have clear conversations with her grandchild after adding a certain oil to her breakfast. Can you guess which one it is? Number 3. Avocado oil, the friend of joints and closeness. Do you remember the elderly woman I mentioned in the last section? Her name is Margaret, 79 years old. A few years ago, she came to see me with hands she could barely straighten. What saddened her most wasn't the pain, but the fact that she could no longer have a full conversation with her 4-year-old granddaughter. Her voice had become faint, shaky, and would sometimes break. It wasn't because of a problem with her brain, but because her jaw was stiff, her temporomandibular joint was slightly inflamed, and her voice grew weak because it hurt to speak. We tried many things, and then I added a simple oil to her diet, avocado oil. Or more precisely, an extract from avocado and soybeans, which is one of the compounds with the clearest clinical research on its effects on osteoarthritis. In medicine, it's known as ASU, avocado soybean unsaponifiables, a special extract from avocado combined with soy, which has been shown to reduce pain and stiffness in people with osteoarthritis, slow the progression of joint space narrowing, inhibit enzymes that destroy joint cartilage. Eating fresh avocados can be good for your heart and skin, but it cannot fully replace the ASU form used in clinical studies. A 3-year study showed that taking 300 milligrams of ASU daily significantly reduced the narrowing of the knee joint space, a typical sign of osteoarthritis. But what I love about avocado oil isn't just its ability to support joints. It is also a silent friend to the skin, eyes, and even the voice. Avocado oil contains a high amount of lutein, an important antioxidant for the retina and eyes, especially for protecting vision in old age. And because it's rich in monounsaturated fats, it also helps with the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. I often recommend 1 to 2 tablespoons of avocado oil per day, which can be mixed into porridge, salads, or used for light sautéing. Or, if using the ASU form, choose a standardized type with a dose of 300 mg per day as directed. Let's go back to Margaret. After more than 8 weeks of consistently using avocado oil every morning, combined with some gentle joint exercises, one day her granddaughter sat beside her and suddenly asked, "Grandma, how come your voice isn't breaking today?" She recounted this to me with tears in her eyes, not out of sentimentality, but because she no longer felt helpless in her conversations. I can tell a whole fairy tale without having to stop in the middle to catch my breath. My voice came back, not because I'm younger, but because I've been softened. And I believe that came not just from the avocado oil, but from the gentleness she showed herself. We can't make our joints young like they were at 30, but we can help them be less stiff, less painful, and less of a barrier to the most important conversations of our lives. So there you have it. One oil, one roll. But our body is a symphony, and sometimes a slight adjustment to a single note is enough to soothe the entire melody. There are still 2 more oils I want you to know about. One of them, from a fruit that seems destined only for dessert, holds the power to protect nerves and boost energy for the brain, especially for those facing memory challenges. Let's discover it together. Number 4. Coconut oil and MCT, a small flame for the aging brain. I first met Helen when she was 74. She was a cheerful, smiling woman who loved her breakfast like a sacred ritual. But recently, her daughter noticed her mother was starting to mix up simple details, like forgetting the way home or repeating the same question just minutes apart. When I asked her, "Do you remember what you had for breakfast this morning?" she smiled faintly and looked out the window. That look. I've seen it in so many people. The look of a fog slowly gathering in a once clear mind. We didn't resort to medication right away. Instead, I started with something small, adding a spoonful of MCT oil to her breakfast every day. MCT, which stands for medium-chain triglycerides, is a special type of fat abundant in coconut oil. The unique thing about MCT is its ability to be rapidly converted into energy in the form of ketones, which can nourish brain cells even when the brain's ability to use glucose is declining, a common occurrence in older adults and those at risk of cognitive decline. A study published in Neurobiology of Aging showed that using MCT for 90 days helped improve memory and information processing in older adults with signs of mild cognitive impairment. I often tell my patients, MCT won't make you smarter, but it might help you remember who you are. Besides its benefits for the brain, coconut oil and MCT also support increased absorption of fat-soluble nutrients, a quick energy source for those with poor appetite or weakness, a mild stabilizing effect on blood sugar in pre-diabetics. How to use it safely and effectively? Start with 1 teaspoon per day, then gradually increase to 1 to 2 tablespoons per day if your body tolerates it well. Use it in the morning, mixed into porridge, coffee, or a smoothie. It's not recommended on a completely empty stomach, as it can cause stomach discomfort or nausea. Prioritize pure MCT oil from coconut rather than blends from various sources. For individuals with a history of fatty liver, dyslipidemia, or who are on cholesterol medication, I often advise starting very slowly, perhaps just half a teaspoon a day, and consulting with a doctor before long-term use. Although MCT is a good fat, every person's body has its own tolerance threshold. As for Helen, after about 6 weeks, her daughter said, "Mom isn't repeating the same question over and over anymore. And what makes me happiest is that she started telling old stories, stories I'd never heard before, with the same enthusiasm she used to have." I believe that small things like these, a spoonful of oil, a conversation, a revived memory, are a form of happiness that modern medicine cannot measure, but that we can feel. There is still one last oil, not necessarily a familiar one, but particularly effective for those who struggle with nighttime urination, a weak prostate, or a frequent feeling of pressure in the lower abdomen. And what's interesting is this oil comes from the very seeds many people snack on in the fall. Have you guessed it yet? Number 5. Pumpkin seed oil, the keeper of calm for the lower abdomen. The last oil I want to share today comes from a seed that seems quite ordinary, the pumpkin seed. Many people think of pumpkin seed oil as just an interesting topping for salads or a natural treat to enjoy in the autumn. But in reality, for older adults, especially men, pumpkin seed oil can be a silent companion, helping to restore a sense of ease in the lower abdomen. In a 12-week study with 45 participants, a daily dose of 10 grams of pumpkin seed oil significantly reduced symptoms of an overactive bladder, such as frequent nighttime urination, mild incontinence, and uncomfortable pressure. Pumpkin seed oil is rich in unsaturated fatty acids, phytosterols, and zinc, nutrients that have been proven beneficial for the prostate, especially in men over 60, supporting urinary function and reducing pressure on the bladder. The bladder muscle, helping to relax and soothe overactive contractions. Skin and hair, thanks to its mild antioxidant and hormone-supporting properties. Simple and effective ways to use it. Use 1 to 2 tablespoons of pumpkin seed oil daily, preferably in the afternoon or after a light dinner. It can be taken directly or added to soups, porridge, or steamed vegetables. For those who don't like the taste of the oil, soft gel capsules of 500 to 1,000 milligrams taken twice a day are an option. The oil should be cold-pressed, unrefined, and stored in a cool place. I have a patient named Larry, 72 years old. He came to see me not because of pain, but because he was exhausted from waking up 3 times every night to use the restroom. He said, "I can't remember the last time I slept through the night." After incorporating a few small changes, including adding pumpkin seed oil every evening, just 1 month later, he came back and smiled, "Last night I only woke up once, and this morning I felt I had enough energy to make coffee for my wife before she woke up." It seems like a small thing, but to me, it was a sign that his body was restabilizing from the inside out. Pumpkin seed oil is not a treatment, but it is a form of gentle care for an area we rarely notice, yet one that deeply affects our sleep, mood, and quality of life every day. And sometimes a peaceful night's sleep, a morning not rushed by discomfort in the lower abdomen, is enough to start a new day with kindness to oneself. We have just walked through 5 different oils, each with its own role in supporting the aging body. But the question is, which one should you use? When and how can they be combined? I will summarize everything in the concluding section right after this, so you can begin your self-care journey in a simple, gentle, and scientific way. 5 oils and how to apply them to daily life. We have journeyed together through 5 oils, each carrying a gentle function to care for a body that is changing with age. And now I will help you visualize this entire journey in the simplest and most applicable way. If your heart and memory are your biggest concerns, then start with extra virgin olive oil. Every morning, just 1 or 2 small spoonfuls mixed into your porridge or salad sends a signal of deep care to your blood vessels and brain cells. If you frequently experience dry eyes, dry skin, or if you are a woman entering menopause, sea buckthorn oil will be a reliable companion. Take 1 capsule or a small spoonful after a meal each day and let your body do the rest. For those who feel stiffness in their knees in the morning, have difficulty standing up, or want to support their joints long term, then avocado oil or its ASU extract is what you should add to your main meals. If you are often forgetful, feel mentally sluggish, or are tired despite not doing heavy work, then MCT oil from coconut will help energize your brain gently but effectively. Start with a teaspoon in the morning. You can even add it to your familiar cup of coffee. Finally, if you often wake up due to nighttime urination or are a man over 60 whose prostate is starting to cause trouble, then pumpkin seed oil is an option well worth trying. Use it in the late afternoon or evening as a way to help your lower abdomen relax as night falls. And before you decide which oil is right for you, I want to ask, if there was one thing you wanted to do for your body tomorrow morning, what would it be? Perhaps it's just a small spoonful, but who knows? It might just open up a whole new journey. Before we finish, please remember a few important things. Don't use them all at once. Listen to your body and choose the 1 or 2 oils that are most suitable for you right now. Start with a small dose. Give your body time to adapt and respond. Always prioritize cold-pressed, unrefined types and store them in a cool place. If you are taking any medication, please consult your doctor before using them regularly. I still remember something that Evelyn, the woman from the beginning of the video, told me after 3 months of maintaining her small habit with olive oil. I don't know if the oil is making me younger, but I know I'm aging more comfortably. And that is my wish for you as well. You don't need to demand miracles from these drops of oil, but if every day you add a little care, a little good fat, a little gentleness to your body, then maybe tomorrow morning you will sleep better, walk more steadily, remember something you haven't thought of in a long time, and smile because you realize you are truly living, not just existing. If you found this video helpful, please follow the Healthy Steps Seniors channel so you don't miss our next videos. Share this video with your loved ones who you think also deserve to live healthier and more gently every day. And don't forget to leave a comment. Which oil are you currently using? Which one are you most interested in? I will always be here, reading every line and responding with all my heart. See you in the next video, where we will continue to walk together, step by steady step, on the path to an old age without regrets.